Two things at once. Yes, it's a BMW. Oh my gosh, I am sorry. How dare me have a BMW in the yard? But it's still a car, and it's still a car that I've never driven, and because I've never driven, I want to. This is a 520, the G31. I think it's a G31. It might be the one after. It's a G something. They had quite a few Gs. They had quite a few GG cars actually. The BMW G series. Gonna have a little look around it, make some observations, maybe go for a drive, you know. Usual car review stuff. First of all, I don't mind admitting I think this is actually a very good looking car. It is this generation of 5 Series that looks exactly the same as the 3 Series of the same kind of generation, yet somehow the 5 Series looks better proportioned. And then the really weird thing is it doesn't look quite as big as it actually is, whereas the 3 Series looks bigger than what it actually is. It could be confusing this, but it's not. Just remember, the 5 Series is essentially a big 3 Series, which is a small 7 Series, and the estate version is an estate version of that, and the X5 is like a tall version of that, and then the X6 is a sloped off version of that. Anyway, that could be rather distracting if I went through the entire BMW range and how they relate to one another, because they all do. Styling wise, it is just, well, it's rather nice. It's nothing very unusual anywhere. It's all rather, it's not particularly understated, but then it's not what you might call overstated either, if there is such a word, which there is. This grille's rather amusing actually, because it doesn't serve a purpose as a grill. It looks more like it's supposed to be a plastic toast rack. But the car does have lines. Smooth lines. Jutty out lines. Wrap around rear lamp that looks, or rather, the only bit that's a bit dull actually is, come to think of it, that tailgate could do with a bit more of something going on. And the roof's a bit roofy. It does have a rather excellent shoulder line going all the way along. Big rear doors. Plenty of rear space. Acres of fake leather. Ambient lighting on the door cards. So bright it can be seen in the daytime. Plastic door hinge. Quickly, it's raining. Let's get on to the door shut sounds. Gosh, isn't that a thick door? Listen, listen. Rather quiet. Go for the front one. And it's going to have a split tailgate. Yep, there we go. There's one. There's the other. Gosh, that's a heavy one. That's a very heavy tailgate indeed. Maybe I'm doing that wrong. Yeah, probably only supposed to use the button to open it up with. Yep. Only does that bit though. Now because it's raining, I'm going to spend the rest of this drivey thing inside the car. It's got the correct car on the dashboard as well. And that instantly leads me to a question. If you had a blue version of this, would you have a blue car on the dashboard? I bet you would actually. But then if it can be that personalised, why doesn't it have your number plate on as well? Well, there'll be a good reason for that, and it's so boring that it's just not really worthwhile answering. And we could have a similar question with this LCD display here. I mean, it does look like a huge upturned rear view mirror. Yeah, see the shape? With a picture of the actual dashboard within. So why didn't they use that part to do a picture within that as well? Oh yeah, that's what they should have done. And then one within that, and then one within that, and just kept on going with some vague attempt to reach infinity. Well, probably because there's no need, and it would be really stupid. This little green strip around here is actually quite nice. It's not too much. I wonder if at night time it might be a bit too bright though. As we have pretend leather on the seats, do we have pretend leather elsewhere? There are plenty of cars that I've driven and owned that have leather seats and leather bits, you know, like proper leather bits, not pretend leather bits, actually on the door and here. Yeah, it's not impossible. Would it be right to say that, well, in actual fact, BMW just don't want to hurt any more moo cows, and you know, they can make this plastic leather look stuff without any cows going to sacrifice? That's not going to be the reason, is it? And already the dash has got bored of me waiting, so I'll have to open the door to switch it back on again, no doubt. Open it and close it. And no, it's not playing. No, it's decided that I'm not playing this. You know, this is just a stupid game to make my lights come on, and I'm not having any part of it. Here is the key for this BMW, which is rather curious shape. It's shaped a bit like a tooth. Currently, because I've never been in this car before and never sat in this model of car before, I don't know what you do with it. Do you stick it in the dash somewhere? Do you stick it in a cup holder? I mean, is it one of those where you just... Yeah, it is, yeah. You don't have to do anything with it. But once you have started it, we have the sat-nav display there. All rather big, all rather easy to read. And a sat-nav on there as well. So, which one do you use? Why do you need both of them? Colours are all rather exciting and just comforting somehow. I like that dashboard. I like the steering wheel. A lovely soft leather steering wheel that's not too big, not too small, full of buttons which I will not bother to press. And then of course we have the gear change buttons as well. And although this particular car has the iDrive system as well, there are still buttons everywhere. So I'm not sure what the point of that actually is. I thought this was you didn't need buttons everywhere, but look, you know, there are more buttons in this than what there are in a car that's 15 years older that doesn't have an iDrive thing, so you don't need all the buttons. Now, presumably, like most cars, this is going to be one of those where you just get in, you just put it in drive and you go, and you don't really have to think a great deal about anything. But there are an awful lot of buttons going on that would mean, be nice to know what they mean. It would be. If it's your car, you would know. You'd know exactly what all this means. I'll tell you what else is nice. Yep, and I do mean this, although you shouldn't have to be saying it. But this heater controls with proper buttons. We don't have to go into either that or this to use, because that would be really annoying. That's a nice simple design, and that's the kind of thing that modern cars should be keeping hold of. The quality of the materials in here does look quite good. It all feels rather solid. Let's have a tap about. Let's give this car a bit of a beating and see whether I still agree with that in 5 minutes. A modern BMW without nice materials would be pretty bad, and obviously that all feels solid. This sort of piano black material looks excellent, and that's the radio buttons, isn't it? Oh, but look at that. Oh dear. Look at this. Look what I found. Watch when I press that. The whole thing flexes. Is it supposed to do? I think it is actually. Yeah, there's no way at all that is just bad build quality. It's supposed to do that. But it does look strange. So, quite nice materials. Would be nice if it was real leather. 4 electric windows, electric mirrors, electric folding mirrors, yep. Of course. Fold back out again. And heated seats. And I'm using the heated seat right now, and it's rather nice, it's rather comforting. Now this car has the diesel engine, the 2-litre diesel engine, of which the old 2-litre diesel engine that they used to have in BMWs was a very, very strong but not particularly powerful engine. This one, I've got no idea about. I don't know how powerful it is. I just imagine it's probably got, I would guess, 170 brake. And the automatic gearbox will probably make it a real seamless change from one gear to the next. And it will just be a really easy car to live with and drive. But this headlining is so dark, it makes me feel miserable. This gear stick is a bit amusing. I don't know what the best way to... It just... it looks a bit like a door mirror, doesn't it? It looks a bit like a door mirror, and you just push it back and forth and it just does its job. Does it go from side to side? Yes. Manual sport, I guess what that is. Then it'll be a sequential box with that. But if I go back into... What was that? No. What do you mean no? Park. To select a gear, press the unlock button. Well, the odd thing is, due to the shape of it, it doesn't make you want to hold it like that. Maybe that's the idea. But it's still not letting me do this. But where's the unlock button? It's not that. It's not that. Yeah, that's what it says. Ah, right, there we go. Ah, right, I get it. Now, we do have the old reversing camera on the go there as well, which is actually really rather clear. I'm not normally a fan of these, but that in that position there is a good idea. Normally I've seen these cameras placed down here, and then you kind of looking in the wrong place. At least the camera is in the same place as where you're looking at the front as well, so you can kind of keep your eye on two things at once. I mean, that's lovely. That's fantastic. Look at that. Isn't that lovely? Well, this is an easy thing to drive indeed. It just goes along like any other modern car, where it points exactly where it goes exactly where you point it. Oh, the seat's messing with my back now. Yes, the lumbar support. Oh yeah, it's doing that thing where it's moving itself up and down. That's quite nice. And the heating's on as well. This would be a fantastic car for going on a very long journey with. If I only had a very long journey to go on, I'd take this if it was mine. Seems that the wipers are automatic and the lights are automatic as well as the gearbox and just about everything else. I wonder if it's got any lane disciplinary issues on the go for those type of people that fall asleep whilst they are driving. Foot down. Ooh, that's quite good. And no doubt the traction control will stop me from doing anything too silly. Having traction control and various other driver aids means that you can drive without any real skill, and that's quite a useful thing for most people because they haven't got any. Will the cash cow move over? Yes. That's jolly good. For a 2-litre diesel, this is fantastic actually. Something about the ultimate driving machine. Well, you know what? It's jolly good. It really is. It might be one of those cars that you think is a bit boring really. You've got all the gear and stuff, but it's a bit joyless. It's not making me feel happy like some cars do. Yeah, it's not making me feel happy at all, but it's certainly making me feel content. And, well, like I'm driving a proper car for a change. God, I don't mean that as any kind of insult to anybody else's car or my own, but this is actually, it feels like an expensive car. It really does. So easy to just place on the road, and it's just, what can I say, it's very good. Yeah, it's a very good car, and actually I quite like it. Would I like to have one? Yeah. Would I like to spend the amount of money that you have to pay to buy one? Impossible, because I haven't got that kind of money. The only thing is, besides all of these bits, all these gadgets, all these buttons everywhere, and the iDrive system, I've kind of run out of things to say about it. The whole car is somewhat just... It's nice, but there's of all these buttons that you can press, it doesn't press that one button that just really does make me giggle. And that's a pity, really. But as far as I know, there hasn't been a BMW that has that button, so I'm not entirely surprised. Anyway, thank you for watching.